During World War II, the United States President, Franklin D. Roosevelt, came up with the idea of the four policemen: the United States, the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom and China. He suggested that after the war, these four countries should become the world's policemen, meaning, each of them responsible for their own area of the world, and they should work together to maintain world peace. On New Year's Day 1942, representatives of four policemen signed a short document which later became known as the United Nations Declaration, and the representatives of 22 other nations added their signatures on the next day. The four policemen would serve as permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, UNSC. When the United Nations was officially established later in 1945, France was in due course added as the fifth permanent member of the Security Council because of the insistence of the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Winston Churchill. In 1971, the People's Republic of China, PRC, replaced the Republic of China, ROC, in the United Nations General Assembly, and the Security Council after Chiang Kai-shek's KMT forces lost the Civil War and retreated to Taiwan. In 1991, the Soviet Union entered a phase of no longer existing, therefore, its seat at the Security Council was transferred to Russia. Currently the United Nations Security Council consists of 15 members, which include P5, the 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members, elected for 2-year terms by the General Assembly. Each council member has 1 vote. However, only the permanent members were granted a special voting power known as the right to veto, due to their key roles in the establishment of the United Nations and their tremendous sacrifice to win World War II. The Soviet Union suffered the most, around 20 million people sacrificed. China is the second country with the most casualties, around 15 million deaths while fighting the Japanese. The Security Council may convene at any time, whenever peace is threatened. In contrast to the decisions made by the General Assembly, all member states are obligated under the UN Charter to carry out the Security Council's decisions. Permanent members often use the veto to defend their national interests, to uphold their foreign policy, or in some cases to promote a single issue of particular importance to a state. If any one of the permanent members casts a negative vote in the Security Council, the resolution or decision would not be approved. Over the past few decades, a number of emerging global and regional powers throughout the world, including G4, Japan, Germany, India and Brazil, and other countries have sought permanent seats on the UNSC. Opponents of expansion claim that adding new seats would open a Pandora's box, and lead to chaos and inefficiency. For example, Pakistan opposed India's demand for UNSC permanent membership because of previous armed conflicts with India, and they worried that India will abuse its power if it becomes a permanent member. South Korea, North Korea and Russia opposed Japan's bid for a permanent UNSC seat. China also strongly opposed Japan's demand because Japanese government has never apologized sincerely for their war crimes. Japan's leader chose to honor the country's war criminals, and also denied the issue of comfort women, and the Nanjing massacre. However, the question arises of whether a wealthy country that is refused a new permanent membership will continue to fund UN expenditures. The UN is having trouble paying for staff and the peacekeeping operations. The situation is worsened because many member states do not pay their annual dues, but surprisingly North Korea, the evil regime in the eyes of the United States, has paid their 2021 regular budget assessment in full, despite multiple sanctions against them. As permanent members of the Security Council, they are required to pay a larger share because of their special responsibility for the maintenance of international peace and security. Besides money, military strength is another key factor of being a permanent member of the Security Council. If G4 and any countries want to challenge or replace the P5, then they must prove that they have the advantages to defeat the P5 member. Even without using nuclear weapons, I believe, the United States and Russia can defeat G4 and other countries easily. France and the UK also should be no problem to face any nation alone too, because they have years of experience in wars with their big brother, the United States. For China, although the PLA lacks modern combat experience, they're improving very fast. Don't forget China has strong manufacturing power, so cannot look down on them too. The United States, the United Kingdom, France, Russia and China are permanent members of UNSC, and that is the fact. Restructure of the UNSC and expand the number of permanent members is impossible, at least for now, because no permanent member is willing to compromise or share their power in council. So is restructure of the United Nations Security Council possible? Perhaps we will get the answer if there is any world war that happens again in future. Nothing is impossible because history will always repeat itself. But, let's hope for world peace.
Let us know in the comment down below if you have any different opinions. Thank you so much for watching. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and share them with people you know. See you in our next video. Bye.